Welcome back to the channel. I am Plant-Based Gabriel, and off to my left, which you can't see right now, but who will probably make an appearance, Plant-Based Bridget. We're out here in the hoop house, and I've been getting a lot of questions. It's January, New Year's Eve time, and someone's about to topple the tripod, so I might as well get her before she does the damage. But it's New Year's time, it's the January, Veganuary, New Year, New Me, and I get asked a lot of questions because, if you didn't know it already, I lost 100 pounds. The first question I get when someone hears that, hey, I lost 100 pounds, is, well, why did you get 100 pounds too heavy to start with? And that's a very good question, and the answer is, I think it's just going to be better if I hold this here. But the first question I always get asked is, how did I get to the point where I was 100 pounds overweight? Well, at 17, 18 years old, I was a college football player, a starting college football player, the starting long snapper for the University of Nebraska, and had unfortunately broken my back. And after breaking my back, after being a starter for a major Division I Big Ten football team, ended up going through every type of therapy you can imagine. Everything but, I guess, hypnotherapy. Acupuncture, water therapy, physical therapy, steroid injections, everything you can imagine. And chiropractor until basically got to the point where things were just getting worse and worse. And so I ended up going in for a 6.5-hour back surgery. Yes, Bridget, 6.5 hours. And was really physically unable to do a lot. And so at the age of 18, 19, found myself 100 pounds overweight without the ability to exercise anymore, and basically went from being a starting college football player at a major Division I school to being an obese 18-year-old. That's how I got to be 100 pounds overweight. Next question is, well, what did I do about it? Well, I tried a lot of different things, and to be honest, I think I tried everything. I thought I had tried everything. At the current time of me being 100 pounds overweight and needing to lose the weight, I was student at the University of Nebraska still, and I was studying animal agriculture. I was getting my degree in livestock production, learning how to breed, feed, fatten, slaughter, slice, and serve every animal old MacDonald ever dreamed of. Not something I'm proud of, obviously, these days, but definitely a big part of my past and a major intersection to where I ended up. And so with that background, with that schooling, I ended up asking my professors, hey, how should I lose weight? What should I do? And obviously their response was, well, cut out the plant foods and eat more animals, which at the time seemed to make sense. And so I tried the JJ Virgin Skinny diet, the keto diet, low carb, pretty much carnivore. I tried everything. Seemed like everything. And that was when I was sitting down in one of my classes and had the epiphany, or a big moment where my paradigm definitely shifted. And that was, I was sitting in my class and I looked to the person who I normally sat next to and I said, you know, there's something really wrong with this picture. She said, well, what's that, Gabriel? I said, the guy I've been asking nutrition advice for about how I should lose weight, and he's been giving me all the answers. He knows every metabolic and all this and that. So that guy's 300 pounds. And so from that point forward, I made the decision that I was no longer going to be taking nutrition advice from 300-pound professors. We've got Bridget in on this now. But the next question I get is, well, how did you lose the weight? I know how you got there. I know what you thought you needed to do, but how did you end up losing the weight? And a lot of people ask, oh, Bridget wants to hold this. All right, Bridget's directing the film now. But the question I get asked is, well, you must have just exercised it off. You must have just ran. You must have just got on the treadmill. You must have just started working out, lifting weights. And I wish. But unfortunately, after that 6.5-hour back surgery, I found myself having the ability to use a walker to go from the bedroom to the living room to the bathroom to the kitchen, which is not a recipe for exercising the weight off, which, as we've learned, and as I may mention again, is you're never going to be able to outwork your mouth. You can never out-exercise a bad diet. You can try, but long-term it's just not sustainable. And so I was fortunate enough to come across some information from plant-based doctors like Dr. McDougall, Dr. Esselstyn, Dr. Pam Popper, Dr. Mills, doctors who have been doing this for a very long time that I had just stumbled upon that I wish I had heard about previously, but they began they were recommending to me through their books and through their videos and through meeting some of them, they were recommending that instead of an animal-based diet, I should try a plant-based diet. Cut out the animals, do the exact opposite. I thought I had tried everything. And so that's when I decided to give a whole food plant-based diet a try. And it didn't just happen overnight. Well, it did happen overnight. I cut the animals out, but there's things you need to learn. Things like cutting out the oil, learning how to cook without oil, which we talk about on my website, and I'm getting rained on in here in the hoop house. But different things like that, and cutting out those higher fat plant foods while you're trying to lose weight, like nuts, seeds, avocados, which a lot of proponents may say are super healthy things, but if you're in a weight loss phase, there's some things you want to cut out. And so I did that, and over the course of the next 2 years, it didn't happen overnight, it didn't take 2 weeks, it didn't take 2 months, it took 2 years. But over the course of 2 years, I lost 100 pounds at an average of about a pound a week. So 104 weeks, I lost 100 pounds. Some weeks I lost a little bit more than a pound, some weeks I lost a little bit less, but it happened as a slow, gradual, sustainable fashion, which is important because the faster and quicker you lose the weight and just do it crash dieting, the less sustainable it is. And obviously that rings true, I'm sure, in your life or in loved ones' lives, where you've seen people just get skinny real quick, and then in 3, 4, 5, 6 months, maybe a year and a half later, they go back to their old ways and bounce back up in weight. And so for me, it was important to do something that was sustainable because I was not, I knew I was really never going to be able to rely upon heavy exercise to maybe burn a few hundred calories here or there to be able to cheat or sneak something in here or there. And so through a whole food plant-based diet, I was able to lose the weight, which is a big part of a lot of questions, but it's not the whole picture. What's the next question we're going to talk about? Well, we're going to talk about not only, now you know why I got overweight, what I tried to do, what didn't work, now what did work. But this is the important part, because what you'll find with a lot of maybe social media influencers or even whole food plant-based doctors or vegan doctors is they can recommend something and something that works, but they themselves or the people who follow their advice sometimes end up ballooning back up. And so why does that happen, and why hasn't that happened for me? I mean, I could, you want to come up here? You want to come up here? Here you go. Why hasn't that happened, Bridgie? People always talk about the dad bod. Well, I've kind of kept the same body I had before you were born. It's because I haven't changed the foods that I was eating. And there it goes. There lies the big question, or the big answer as to how I've kept the weight off. How have I kept 100 pounds, the exact same foods that I used to lose the 100 pounds? That's simple enough. There you go. That's the answer. But it can sometimes be a little bit more complicated, so we'll touch on a few things here or there. Why do so many people have a problem or have trouble not sticking to that same way of eating that they use to lose the weight? Why can't they use it to sustain weight loss? Well, number one is a lot of people will rely on something like extreme calorie deficit diets, which can help you lose a lot of weight quickly, but they're not sustainable unless you plan on weighing 20 pounds in 5 years, right? It can't sustain itself if you're not eating enough food to live. And different things have different places, don't get me wrong, but in a sustainable long-term lifestyle way of eating, calorie deficit is not going to work. So you need to be eating those foods that are full of fiber that I found, like rice, beans, potatoes, oats, corn, quinoa, foods that are full of fiber, low in fat, high in water, high in carbohydrates. They're going to give you a lot of energy. They're going to fill you up without filling you out, and they're going to help you stay full without getting fat long-term. That's pretty simple right there, Bridget. But there's always the, well, but you can have this, right? You can have that, you can have this. So you've got to draw boundaries. In our home, just got rained on some more. In our home, we don't have processed junk. We don't have oil. We don't have those foods that can be triggering, those foods that can be fattening. We don't have nuts and seeds in our pantry. May sound crazy, right? A vegan a person who has even a recipe, but no nuts and seeds, no avocados in our pantry. If we want to have something with some avocado on it, we may go get an avocado, but it's not something we stock regularly, like potatoes, sweet potatoes, oats, corn, quinoa, bananas, fruits and vegetables. And so those are definitely ways to do it. The other thing to really keep in mind is remembering your why. Why did I need to lose that 100 pounds initially? Wow, it's really coming down in here, Bridget. And the reason I did need to lose that 100 pounds initially was because I didn't want to have to go in for another 6.5-hour back surgery in another couple years, because that's normally the way things progress. You go in for a back surgery, you keep eating, you keep weighing the same weight you weighed, you keep eating the same things you ate before, and then you have more problems and more problems and more problems. And I wanted to stop that right then and there. I knew I wanted to be able to run around with my children. I knew I wanted to be able to pick them up like I get to pick up Bridget. Get to play with her outside. Get to do things that normal people do that I did before I'd broken my back. And so that was important to me. And in making every choice I make, and the number one choice is what you buy at the grocery store, because that's what ends up in your pantry, and that's what ends up in your meals, and that's what ends up in your belly, and that's what ends up either on your thighs or as energy that gets to sustain you as a healthy, trim, fit person. And so remembering your why is definitely a big reason. And then also just keeping it simple. Bridget, I don't think I could give any better advice than keeping it simple. What do you think about that, director? Keep it simple. Keep it as simple as possible. Do not overcomplicate things. If you love sweet potatoes, you love white potatoes, you love rice, you love beans, load up on them and eat nothing else. Season them, you're good to go. Keep it simple. If you love oatmeal, have oatmeal. If you love, I don't know, if you love chili, make a great low-fat vegan chili every day. It does not matter. The thing is, keep it simple, keep it whole food plant-based. That is something that is sustainable, and from talking to Bridget, that is going to, hopefully no one's seasick there because the director is shaking the camera. But that is what I have found in talking to people who have eaten and lived a whole food plant-based, eaten a whole food plant-based diet, lived a whole food plant-based lifestyle for decades, not just a couple years, not just 4, 5, 10 years, we're talking 20, 30, 40 years, is they keep it simple. They keep it as simple as possible. They enjoy what they eat. They eat only things that they enjoy. They don't feel like they need to go out and get this next superfood or this or that. They eat simple whole food plant-based meals. They cook simple whole food plant-based recipes. And they live a healthy whole food plant-based lifestyle. I hope this was helpful. Obviously, guys, I don't know all the answers. I did write the cookbook, the plant-based diet for beginners. It's been a successful bestseller. You know, I can do this. I don't know if you can tell, but I've been able to stay nice and slim and trim, eating the foods that I enjoy. Now we're out here in the hoop house. We grow a lot of the foods that we enjoy these days, but it is simple. Doesn't have to be super complicated. Leave any questions that you have in the comment section below, and me and Bridget will try our best to get to all of them. We hope this is helpful. If you're looking to lose 100 pounds yourself, you can always head over to plantbasedgabriel.com, check out our recipes, check out some of the videos, check out how simple we've made this way of eating and living, and hopefully it helps you in your journey or your loved ones. That's really all we have. Bridget, did I forget anything? Did I forget anything? Nope, I've been rambling on long enough. All right, everyone, we love you. We'll hopefully see you in another video soon.